All right, here we go. What is an LLC and why does it matter? Hi, my name is Jonathan, and this is the Business Everyday channel. Join me as we explore what this is today. Have you ever wondered where an LLC came from, what it is, and why does it matter? Well, let's find out. All right, so the concept of the limited liability company has its roots all the way back into the Roman Empire. Even back then, they had a system to allow people to invest in business ventures without risking everything they owned, at least on a personal basis. Fast forward to the Middle Ages, and the European merchants in Italy were using similar ideas to fund risky trading missions while protecting their personal wealth. In the 1600s, we saw the rise of joint stock companies like the Dutch East India Company and the British East India Company. These companies allowed investors to pool their money, spread the risk, and limit their personal liability. It wasn't the LLC that we really know today, but it was the concept of protecting personal assets versus having corporate liability. And this is kind of where things progress from there. The real turning point came in 1892 in Germany. They introduced the first true LLC limited liability company known as Gesellschaft mit beschränkter Haftung. Did I get that right? Which means company with limited liability. This was a game changer for small business owners in Germany, and it allowed them to run their businesses without risking their personal assets because they had this corporate protection. They also experienced the extreme flexibility in management. You see what I'm saying? From there, the idea spread across Europe, but it took a long time to reach the United States. There's a big ocean in between. In fact, the first U.S. state to recognize the LLC was Wyoming in 1977. At that time, Wyoming oil companies were looking for a business structure that offered both limited liability and tax benefits. And boom, the LLC was born. But even still, it wasn't until the IRS ruling in 1988 that the LLC became more attractive across the US because they were allowed to be taxed like partnerships. By the mid-1990s, almost all states had adopted the LLC laws, and the LLC became one of the most popular business structures in America, and still is today. As the name suggests, members of an LLC have limited liability, meaning that their personal assets like their homes, their cars, their boats, their yachts are protected if the business were to have federal or local legal troubles. This is the protection that small businesses need in order to save them from financial hardship. Unlike corporations, however, LLCs are usually taxed as pass-through entities. This means the business itself doesn't pay taxes. Instead, profits and losses are passed through to the owners, who reports them on their personal tax returns. This avoids the dreaded double taxation that everyone talks about on Instagram and YouTube. LLCs offer a lot of flexibility when it comes to management. You can run the company yourself as a single person, or you can appoint managers to take care of the day-to-day operations of the business. Plus, there are fewer formalities that you would see in a larger C Corp, which really makes it easier for the small business owner. Forming an LLC in your state is relatively straightforward and is pretty inexpensive. Comparatively, setting up a large corporation is a ton of paperwork and quite expensive. So the LLC allows you to create a corporate structure with limited paperwork, limited finance, and a fairly straightforward process. LLCs really have come a long way since ancient Roman times and the 19th century business practices. All in all, the limited liability company is actually a fairly new concept, but it really offers the person who wants to get into business protection, flexibility, and a fairly straightforward process. Let me know in the comments if you're thinking about forming an LLC, or if you have any questions about small business structures in general. If you found this video helpful learning about the limited liability company, please hit the subscribe button and join us for more content like this as we discover more about business. Thanks for watching.
Gesellschaft mit beschränkter
Gesellschaft mit beschränkter Haftung. I have no idea if I'm saying that right.